Alright everybody, let's paint this little cute little popsicle in Fresco. Alright, so I've noticed that there weren't many tutorials in Fresco on how to do stickers. They were just kind of digital stickers. So I'm going to make this actual sticker that can show you that Procreate isn't the only one that can do it all. So Fresco is an app that you can draw all kinds of stuff. So as I draw this little popsicle eating an orange, you'll notice that there are a lot of changes, different. There is no Gaussian blur, so you'll notice that I have to make my own blurs and use my own ability with colors to make things happen. That's okay with me. But as you notice, I'm starting with my sketch, and as you can see, it's not a very clean sketch, but I didn't do crazy with it. So, as I'm doing my sketch, I'm using multiple layers just to make sure that everything is on separate layers. I group them. The good thing about Adobe Fresco that Procreate is not good with is layer grouping upon layer grouping. So I could actually do a layer mask on top of the layer group, and it affects all the layers. So that's something great about it. As you see, I'm doing this shadow. It does not work out, so it ends up getting removed. And it's just a test to see if there's a blur effect. Now, as I'm trying to do my line work, you'll notice my pen has an issue. I ended up having a faulty pen tip, which caused it to do the little splotches, dots. Now, I was thinking of keeping it in there and keeping it as a aesthetic to the line art, but I was like, no, that wouldn't look good with the sticker quality that I was looking for. So I got it fixed, and of course my pen started working right, and I had to clean my screen. So as I got it fixed, you'll notice it gets clearer, and you can see the line art a little easier. And so it's kind of fun. I'm sorry about the background noise. My kids are going to bed. So yeah. Anyways, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this little couple of seeds in the background, or seed. And obviously it wasn't part of the sketch in the initial sketch, so it was just an added on that I found was very interesting. And it gave it some character, like he's a melting ice pop. As you can hear, I do a lot of flips to check vertically and horizontally to make sure that my line art is accurate before I add any colors, because once you add colors, it's extremely hard to change the line art. So it's the best way to do it is to first do it with your sketch. My recommendation would be with your sketch first, which I didn't do, which I usually do, but I didn't. But line art came out okay. You'll see me drawing this little orange. Everything was on separate layers so that I could erase and work around things and make sure that everything was done in proportion or to my liking. You'll notice that I did take the time to kind of make things interesting. Laying my flat colors, it was easy to pick. You just pick watermelon colors and you stick with the triad of colors there. So that's pretty simple. And when I'm doing the shading here, you'll notice I don't have a Gaussian blur in Adobe Fresco, but I actually quite enjoyed the freedom to make my own blur. Now, I could do it as a mask or as a special item, and it made it a lot easier. So as I'm doing these blurs and things, it made it harder but easier. I could tell it to be darker, I could tell it to be lighter without having to add layer upon layer. And of course, there are unlimited layers in Adobe Fresco. So it made it easier for me to be able to do it. My iPad also did not burn up with all the layers like Procreate does. So I ended up doing a lot of shading on my own, which forced me to have to really learn my shades and my colors for Adobe Fresco, because Procreate would usually take care of that. And it made it a lot easier for the beginner artist. But as you can see, the shading has to be done professionally grade. I've noticed also a lot of professional artists use Adobe Fresco, and it is a complicated-ish app. However, I do like it, and yes, there is a subscription to it. Yeah, that's a drawback for a lot of people, but I'm telling you, if you are really being serious about going into artistries and illustrations, I would recommend Adobe Fresco, although professionals also use Procreate. So I have not tried the animation feature yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But anyway, So I'm still doing my shadings, and it does take time because of Gaussian blur not being available. You have to make sure you know your color wheel very well. I had to try out several ones. Now I'm doing my line art, and you'll notice I did my best to try to make it look realistic. Now, I haven't figured out how to get rid of the halo effect, I guess you could call it, but it gives it kind of a sheen, kind of a glow on its own without me actually having to do it. And for the line art, I know it doesn't look professional, but I did try to make it look neat. You'll see that I kind of flipped it to kind of see. Also, we're getting to the nitty gritty. So right now I'm trying to figure out how to get the sticker idea to happen. And Procreate makes it so much easier because they have a selection tool set up that way. But in here, you actually have to draw around the art, setting up the background so I can see the white line. And as you can see, I'm drawing the white line, and then I just fill it with the bucket, and then the third layer, of course, is done. So I sign it, attach it to my sticker, try to do it as small or as colorless as possible, add my overlay just like any other thing, and I add a background blur, so using the smudge tool. So I hope this is informative and fun to watch. I just hope that I get better at it. Enjoy making your stickers. Bye-bye.